man. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me. I got to check in with you. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. We
Mhm.
just played Poland like 20 minutes ago. So doing well. It's cool. It's very fun.
How was the show? How was that?
That was great. I feel like everywhere that we're at on this tour, I don't know what to expect because we've never been over here. And if
Hmm.
one person knows who we are, that's exciting. And it seems like every show there's like a good 15, 20 people right in the pocket that are all about it. So tonight was the same.
Oh,
So very, very happy. Yeah, very,
oh,
very sick.
ain't that fantastic, isn't it? Like you're in the unknown, as you say. First time over here to Europe as well. Got
Yeah.
a great reputation, but still, there's so many cities, so many places to go. You have no idea. So if people are showing up coming down early, I mean, it's fantastic. It's great. I'm so glad it went well.
Yeah, yeah, me too. That's very sick.
Is that it? Are you just even while on the road? Are you just completely unfocused, mindset wise, on being on the road? Like as far as Greyhaven things go, are you considering what's coming up as well while you're on the road? Are you kind of just trying to stay focused on playing live?
Yeah, definitely. We want the shows to be sick, and obviously we're all very excited for the record to come out. But I mean, for us, we've had the vinyl, um, and we've been selling it a little bit early, and we're playing two of the songs on it, so we're kind of already in it, even though most people haven't heard the whole thing yet. We're excited to have that moment, but yeah, for the most part, it's just been pretty chaotic like every single day since being over here, the travel and just like everything, and we're just crashing in the van, driving, playing. Hopefully the venue has a shower, just really road life on this one for sure. And so it definitely puts you uh we're in the grind in a good way, but like yeah, that is the world we're living in right now is just this.
Yeah, how else could you focus? I mean, it obviously as well. Like you've lived with this album for around about 2 years already. We're talking from the very kind of early days of writing to where we are now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's no wonder that at this stage, particularly as you're out on the road, your focus is elsewhere. But sum up to me, like, describe a current day in the life of you. Like, what are you doing in the morning, preparing for a show? How's that going?
Honestly, on this, I don't think any of us have recovered from the the time change still. So like,
Right.
we're unfortunately still we're staying up till like 5 in the morning every day because it's like 10
Yeah.
o'clock back home, and we're just our bodies are not ready for sleep. So we've been most of the time it's we wake up in the van, whoever wakes up first gets in the driver's seat, we start driving, drive for a couple hours. We all start waking up kind of in the afternoon because we've been up all night, and get to the venue, start unloading, wait around for sound check. We usually have a couple hours before we have to do sound check. So being in all
Mm.
these new cities and just all these different places for the first time, like a lot of us have been just wandering around, just trying to see
Yeah.
things and experience the city, which has been really, really amazing. Today is the first day I don't think I've gotten to do that as much because we were running kind of late and just the parking situation here was kind of crazy. But
Right.
it was pretty just like go, 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 get here, do the thing, and then before I know it, it's the show, and then before I know it, it's over, and then now I'm here.
You're
So
here with me.
yeah, but it's been cool, like especially with the bands that we're out on tour with, Better Lovers and 68, like we've
Yeah.
done a lot with both of those bands. So it just kind of feels like a big group of friends being over here. Doesn't feel like
That's
this you know, having to meet someone or introduce yourself. It's like, oh, this is just the camp. This is sick. This is cool.
that's really nice, isn't it? Because I mean, normally it could be so intimidating the amount of dates
Hmm.
as well and the amount of different countries you're
Yeah,
visiting.
yeah, absolutely. So it's nice, especially having Will along for the ride. Like he's been the producer for all of our records, so we're very, very familiar with Will, and just having him because he's done this stuff too. So like just kind of having him to check in with and be like, "Yo, like, how do we navigate this and this? How is this gonna go?
Yeah.
What's the very situation, like etc. So it's nice. It doesn't feel like we're having to walk on eggshells or anything like that. It's like we have a very good foundational base behind us,
Well, good.
which
I'm
is
glad.
nice.
I mean, you got Slovakia tomorrow. Then it looks. Then you got a day off, so that's something
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least before you got to go to Hungary.
hmm Yeah, and then the record's out. The record's out in
Yeah.
Budapest. So
Speaking of the record, then, I mean, the build to the release of Keep It Quiet, we should say as well, name of the album. We're at the home stretch. Anticipation is super,
mhm.
super high. Overall, have you been able to? Have you enjoyed the build? It's a long process, but have you enjoyed
Yeah,
it?
yeah. This has been the one I've enjoyed the most, like easily by far. Like um, the earlier records, it's obviously exciting and it's fun, and always putting out new music is a cool, exciting thing, ready for people to hear it. But I feel like there really wasn't this build and this kind of like the work that went into making sure this rollout was going the way that we wanted it to, and the support and stuff. Just I can't say enough good things about how Solid State has just been the
Yeah,
best. Um, and making it feel like we're rolling out an album. You know, it's not just like they're hands off and it'll be on streaming one day and then it's yours. It's like they are so a part of trying to make this thing feel like something and grow, and they've been awesome about just everything we've wanted to do with it as far as videos and all that kind of stuff. So honestly, since the recording of it in January, and we've
mm,
been on the road a bunch since then, it's just has been all year kind of leading up to exactly this point, like being on tour in Europe,
yeah.
having the record come out, and then immediately afterwards doing a headliner off of it. It does feel like, you know, this entire year has just been like built up for this record. And we knew it because we had it recorded, but nobody else did until the first single started rolling out and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is happening. And it's like, yeah, well, we've been working on this for months and it's paying off. That's the exciting thing about it. But that's all I've been submerged in this whole year, it feels like, is just everything around the record.
Considering as you used the right word, submerged, you managed to stay afloat as well, and thankfully having that solid state with having your back, believing in what you were doing and believing
Yeah.
in the record too. What a difference maker.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel like we didn't know what to expect with a different label, and
Mm,
because we just had our one experience with Equal Vision and like they were great, at some points, and then other points it just kind of felt like we were doing our own thing still, like pretty
yeah.
DIY still, and it was like, okay, I guess that's
Hmm.
how labels I guess are. I don't know any different.
Yeah.
And then when Solid State picked us up and just through the release of Stereo Grief, everything they were doing with that and all the touring and just like the encouragement that they've had and belief in us from the very beginning has been like, oh no, this is different and this is nice. Like this is really cool. Like feels like they have our back really, really hard. And that's super nice. And especially seeing it pay off with the album, just being like, this feels like a record rollout, like for
Yeah.
real. It has not been like that before.
Well, ultimately, all of this comes down to your hard work, what you've created here, and we've had an incredible response to the singles released so far. That response has it matched any expectations that you had beforehand?
I think we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, obviously we didn't do anything that's like crazy left turn, like crazy different. It just feels like an evolution of the band. So I think
Yeah.
we were prepared and confident in like, well, to us, these are like the best songs that we've written. Like definitely feels like a really good chapter for the band. So anyone that likes the band, I think hopefully would agree. But we had a talk about Burn a Miracle in the studio, like after I had laid down the basic vocal
Mm.
tracks, and Will and I were talking, and he was like, I mean, that's the first single. He's like,
Oh,
easy. Yeah, he was like, that's easily the first single. He was like, I mean, the other songs are great and like they're gonna be cool moments. He's like, but this just does everything if you're a Greyhaven fan, you're getting everything the band does. If you've never heard of Greyhaven, you're getting everything the band does, and it's hooky, it's catchy. It's like that's the
Yeah.
thing. So I think that vote of confidence early was also nice, just being like, all right, well, we got one. Like hopefully the other nine or 10 are just as cool. And I feel like they are in their own ways for sure. But it is cool hearing because we I try not to read like too much because I feel like
Yeah.
that's you know how that can be. But everything I'm hearing and everything I'm seeing and everything people are telling us at shows is overwhelmingly positive, and especially to even like the weirder single like when Where the Light Leaves Us came out, there
Mm.
was a lot of really I wasn't expecting that one to be like the one that everybody's talking about almost the most, and it's like I'm hearing so much about that song,
Yeah.
and that makes me excited for some of the other moments on the record that I don't think people are prepared for because there are some things in there that are different from our normal wheelhouse. And then
But
seeing it
that's
live. This is our first time playing
yeah.
these songs live at all, and we're not even at home. We're across the world, and it's crazy to jump into Burn a Miracle top of the set, and I see people light up and get excited, and they know what's coming, and then they're singing along, and I'm like, what the hell is this? This is awesome. Like
Yeah.
very cool. So yeah, I'm just living it up, man. I'm just enjoying it.
It's a listener base that has your back as well. People want, obviously, they want to hear you make the music that you make, but anybody that would deny you your evolution, your natural evolution, and your own, decisions to experiment isn't going to be a fan, so to speak.
Hmm.
They're not there on the ride. So I feel like the people that surround you, it was the band, they are the ones that are excited by every new turn direction that you take.
Yeah, I feel like that's been kind of the theme for us from the jump, like
Mm.
we've set ourselves up to kind of do whatever we want from our first record, and from everyone that's been listening to us from the beginning to now, it feels like that's kind of the energy from them too, is like, don't know where you're gonna go, but I'm excited about where you're gonna go because how you've gone all across the spectrum and it's all enjoyable. So like, I don't know what you're gonna give me next, but I'm here for it, and that's what we
Yeah.
want. We want people to feel that way about us because that's what we think about when we're writing too. We don't know what a record's gonna sound like. We just get in a room and start making songs, and
See what comes out.
we might spend 2 months on all the 3 months on like all the soft melodic stuff, and it's like, oh, this is going to be a soft melodic record, and then like after that run kind of happens, it's like 2 3 months of the heaviest stuff ever, and we're just like constantly intermingling. It's just about whatever mood we're in, and we overwrite so that we can pick the best stuff for the album. So getting to pick what that feels like is nice. But like, yeah, we just kind of write all over the spectrum, always. So it's natural
Well,
for us.
I need to take you back there a little bit then, and to kind of the spark that ignited this album's creative period. Kind of, I think we got to
Hmm.
go back to around 2024. What did the initial vision for this new Greyhaven record look like?
Very interesting because we were writing with the intention of putting out a full length as the like announcement for Solid State. So like we
Hmm.
were working with them, and we wanted the rollout to be like, hey, we're signed, new album, hopefully touring. And we actually shopped around a bunch of different producers because Will was just busy, and we were like, all right, well, if he's busy, then we'll see what we can do. And it was exciting to think about going with someone else and just
Hmm.
like get a different sound on the band, and whatever, like interesting, intimidating, but interesting. Um, and then the year kind of started to get away from us a little bit,
Yeah.
and it was like, I forget who pitched the idea, but somebody was like, what if we just do an EP and just get some music out there, get the ball rolling, and
Yeah.
then whatever. So we were already writing for a full length. So some of the more melodic stuff, some of the stuff that's on the album is, old to us because we've been working on
Yeah.
it for a while. So the EP was just like, well, let's just give a very straightforward like EP. Like it's pretty just five aggressive songs. There's some nuance, but it's pretty much just like this feels like they live together.
Yep.
We obviously weren't going to do a song like Where the Light Leaves Us on the EP, even though we were working on that song around then and stuff. And like it's better, obviously, to have waited because the song just got better. But
Mm.
um, yeah, I would. It's kind of funny because I feel like we were leaning a lot more towards like songs like that, like a lot more towards these noodly melodic things. And it was like, this is going to sound kind of like a spacey Radiohead kind of record. And then we put all the aggressive songs into the EP. So we were like, okay, well, what are, you know, but then because of that, we had this whole extra year of just being like, well, now we need to flesh out what the album's going to be. And it needs some heavy stuff. Like we need to get into that lane because we've been doing this other lane for so long. So I feel like the album took several different shapes to me.
Mm.
I literally, until we were putting the final touches on it, didn't kind of know where we were landing. And even post EP, even like I think we went up with like 17 ideas for songs. Back getting whittled down to 11. So that, you know, it's just didn't know which ones were going to end up making up the record and the energy of it, you know. And once it was out there, like the instrumental side of it stuff, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is
Mm.
feels right.
It's incredible, really. It almost feels like you benefited to some degree from having that extra time, but also that extra time sometimes can be a negative in the fact that
Yeah.
did you ever find like it was harming your focus?
I feel like there's definitely times where that's part of it because like especially towards getting close to recording, we were on tour and doing these things, and I'm like, man, I don't know how to sit and write and demo to music while we're on tour. Like, I don't have time to go mess around with this. You know, my focus is just trying to live on tour and play the shows and
Yeah.
that stuff. I ended up buying a MIDI like keyboard so that I could like just play around with melodies like in the back of the van. And
Mm.
that helped a little bit, but also I found out like I could noodle on that thing all day, but it's not tangible, you know. Realistically, I don't think a ton came out of it, but it was interesting. And then right after that tour, I went on a small vacation with my fiance and stuff. So my brain was there, and then I got home and I had like a couple days, and then boom, we were in the studio, and it was like, oh my God, I don't have a ton of
Mm.
this like ironed out. And then in the middle of recording, we go to the UK, so I'm back in tour mode, and
Yeah.
then we come back, I get sick, and I'm like, all right, well, I can't record even if I wanted to. So I sat with the instrumental of the album for like a month between January and March, the end of January to
Mm.
March, at home with the finished demo, like finished instrumentals, which obviously you don't usually get the benefit of having that. And
Yeah.
I think everybody was annoyed about it, but it's still, I think, uh, gave me the what I needed, the stress I think I needed to get to the finish line on it because like I felt like I had so much of it, but lyrics were kind of becoming a problem. And then
Okay.
I just was like spinning my wheels there for a minute. And then it just seemed like in that last week with my, you know, ADHD brain where it's like, oh, if it's not due tomorrow, I'm not gonna touch it apparently. And so that last week though, it was just like my crazy brain, but the superpower of it kicks in and goes, well, here it is. It somehow
It's
worked.
time.
I don't know how, but we pulled it off. Like it's there.
You must have been putting yourself under such immense pressure at a certain stage when you're sitting with it, as you
Yeah,
say, and everybody's going, do your
yeah,
thing, do your thing.
yeah. I'm getting phone calls every other day. Like, where are we at with this? Where are the demos? Like, I need to hear an album before I fly you back up. And I'm like, I mean, I sent you the texture tracks. Like, I just need to get the right words in. And he's like, you don't have an album. Like, I need an
Mm.
album. And I'm like, all right, like, give me a minute. Like, but I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's so hard for me to like get to that finishing spot
Mm,
until that pressure kicks in. Because I can demo ideas all day, but I
yeah.
can't commit and feel really good about the words until it's like that for some reason. And it's like I feel like it's a fluke like each record, but it's been every record where I go, why did I wait? Or why am I here? Why is it not committing till
Mm.
right now? But this is just, I guess, what we're doing. Every record I try to not do that, and every record it's the same thing.
I mean that may change in the future, but for now, it might be so stressful and like not necessarily good for you. But the end result often it always speaks for itself, and it is seem to be
Yeah,
getting the best out of you at the end. At the
yeah,
end.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm a nightmare for like the 2 weeks leading up to that stuff. I'm so on edge and just so focused on this, and like everybody's like, "Well, why are you so stressed out?" I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I have a record to finish. Like, that's of course I'm stressed out, and it's got to be, in my mind, it's got to be perfect. It's got to
Mm.
be everything. I can't just go up there and just start writing like up spooky stuff. Like, it's got to be serious. I take it very seriously, and it has to be really genuine to me. And like this one in particular too was really scary because a lot of the things that were kind of popping up that I would go, I connect to that.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a line I want to use. If I started to look at it at any sort of capacity, I was like, oh man, that's some really heavy personal stuff that I haven't even like delved into on an individual level. I don't think I'm prepared to put this into a record right now. But at the end of the day, the record said, I don't give a fuck. This is
Yeah.
what's happening. Like this is what needs to come out. And you don't have a choice unless you want to be inauthentic. But if you want to be authentic, then you got to be here for the ride and just open up and let it happen. Because everything else you're doing to try to cover it up and to flower it up and abstract it and hide it and push it down or talk about something else is bullshit. It sounds like bullshit and it's coming across that way. I feel it, they're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. So I had to just kind of let go to do that. And I remember having a conversation with our manager Tom, exactly that conversation, and he was just like, lean into it. Uh, being vulnerable is what's going to make a good record. That's what's going to make people connect to it. So I know it sucks, but just trust it. And it worked. I'm very happy about the product. Like the end result is I feel like we made a great record. I'm really, really proud of the work on it.
Oh, you really have. But then, it is your most emotional record to date. You can feel it. I nodded along heavily when you said people would know if you're being inauthentic, it was going to come through because it also wouldn't be
Yeah,
you. Up to this point, you've
yeah,
always been very authentic, so you're going to notice the hell out of it if you're not
yeah.
trying it this time. But even though that would have been rough and difficult and challenging for you to open up in that way, when you now reflect on that, how satisfied do you feel that you were able to open up like that?
I'm very grateful because it feels like a it's not so on the nose that you can pick out what I'm talking about, but for me, there's a lot of markers of like, I know what that is. A lot of people close to me might know what this or that is. And that's fine. But at the same time, I feel like I wanted to avoid it for so long during the
Mm,
process of this that like letting go of it and having that release was so cathartic and especially recording because I went up and flew up there by myself to finish it up.
yeah.
So it's just me and Will in the studio, like which was also very intimate, just in this big house, this big studio thing, and it's I'm used to having my band around and all these other
Yeah.
people around and stuff, and it's just me and him. And yeah, there were a couple different times I was recording tracks and lines and different takes of stuff, and I was like, was getting kind of choked up, like tracking, because it was just so real to me. So once it was done and I was able to look at it and listen to it, I'm just like, I definitely still need to work through all the shit that I'm talking about. We'll get to that later, but definitely feels like a very honest piece of
Mm.
work in art, which I'm always striving to do. And I usually, like I say, like kind of bury things in abstraction and stuff. Like it's all over our last couple of records. It's like all these weird tongue-in-cheek things that like I know what I'm talking about. There's no way anyone else is getting close. And this one, it's like, yeah, you probably don't have to do a lot of digging or thinking on some of these. Like some of these lines are just straight up so literal that it's like
Yeah.
it's scary to put that out there, you know. And it's like, well, here it is, you know. You wanted me to be open, you wanted me to be honest. Well, here's the record you get. That's it.
It is going to be fascinating to see how people connect to this over the next couple of weeks and months because
Mm.
there's a high chance people are going to connect in a way, connect to what you've done, you personally as well, from your what you've done in the band, in a way that they've never done before, and it's going to create a whole new conversation. It's going to be very exciting to see.
I am excited for that because I do feel like people talk to me at our shows about our songs, and I'm always surprised at the interpretations that they have and what it means to them. And like that's what's important to me, that we can connect. Because that's what this is all about anyway, is just connectivity and stuff. You know, like we're trying to showcase our art, but if it doesn't connect with anybody, then it's not great art.
Mm,
So when it does, it's really nice. But with this one, yeah, because it's so open and vulnerable, and I am curious the conversations that we'll have moving forward. And I'm excited for that though, because like it's always really nice when people come up and say that we've done anything for them or helped them in some kind of way. And it like this just shows you how powerful music can
yeah.
be. And that's true when I'm trying to shy away and hide from everybody. So like when I'm finally standing here being like screaming at you like, hey, I'm fucked up. Like Uh, I do think people will relate to that because I know that that's a feeling a lot of people have, you know, like so yeah, I
There it
think it's
is.
going to create some interesting conversations for sure.
Oh man, it's so cool. I'm so glad you got to this point as well because ultimately you've worked hard for it and it's been a journey. So when you look back at the journey, the entire album creative period, beginning to where we are now, what are some of your favorite memories?
Definitely recording and then getting to go to the UK with Better Lovers in the middle of it just felt like the craziest scheduling thing ever. Like we were literally laughing about it. Like this is an asinine thing to be doing um, in the middle of a record.
Yeah.
Uh, and it was a lot of fun and it was really cool. And obviously I got sick, but I do think for the better. I just really think those extra 4 weeks with the record were just absolutely necessary. That pressure, just everything that happened, even though it wasn't enjoyable to be in that
Mm,
stress, I just think that everything happened the way that it needed to happen. But I I also just really love writing. So
yeah.
when we get into we get into a room like a guys like four guys having band practice every week. That's just what we do. We every Sunday we get together, we plug the amps in, we look at each other, we play the set, or if we're trying to write, it's like, oh, you have an idea? Or it's just very organic. And anytime something starts to piece together and we have a new song, even just one song, it's like wow, we wrote a new song. Like this is sick. Like there's a new Greyhaven song that exists. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because being this far into the career now, it's kind of like, you know, growing up, I was always in bands that you would, if you were lucky, you'd get a set together.
Yep.
If you were lucky, you'd get an EP. If you were lucky, you got a CD on a burnt CD. Uh, if you were lucky, you got an EP printed on a CD. Like I remember when we got Cult on vinyl, I was just like, we made it. This is crazy, you
Mm,
know? And that was 12 songs. And now we're four records in, and an EP and a single. Like there's so many Greyhaven songs that exist
yeah.
now. And I think that's record four, I feel like is when you start looking at that too and being like, oh, we have a catalog of stuff. This is
Yeah.
kind of crazy, you know? Feel very fortunate to have lasted this long and gotten to this point and be able to look at that and be like, yeah, I'm really proud of that whole breadth of work. Like everything on there, I can stand behind and be like, that's what we were doing at that time. That was very honest for us at that time. And I hope that always stays true. I don't think we'll keep doing it if that changes.
No, of course, and obviously you still get a spark of excitement when you're together and you're playing together, and you
Yeah.
recognize your own evolution. You can look at yourself and see what you've learned and how you've grown, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we just never want to repeat ourselves.
Yeah.
And like I say, we give ourselves kind of the breath to do whatever we want. So I think it definitely shows on this record where it's like, well, I mean, if we all agree that it's cool, send it. Like,
There it is.
let's go. Like, who's to tell us what a Greyhaven song sounds like? The only people that can tell us that are us. So, um, yeah, I've told this story on a couple of these now, but the first track on the record is
Mm.
a great example because, like, Johnny had come to me before a band practice and was just like, don't you have like a bunch of stuff on your laptop that you just like mess around with at home? And I'm like, yeah, I write acoustic stuff or
Yeah.
weird stuff on GarageBand, like literally just for fun. I don't ever like expect people to hear anything. And I was actually trying to show him a different song, and I clicked on the first track, and it's pretty unchanged from the GarageBand version to the album version. Obviously, the whole like big thing that happens at the end is a post idea, but I just think it's really cool that they trusted
Yeah.
that with the band and being like, we should do something with that. I'm like, are you
Mm.
serious? This is like nothing we would ever do. Like, and it works. It feels so fitting in the thing, And even Will, he heard it and was like, first song on the record. We were like,
Really?
really? And he was like, yeah, if it's not, it's going to be an interlude track someone's going to skip. If it's the first track, you can't skip it, and it's going to get into the album the way that it does. And we figured that puzzle piece out with the part. Yeah, I see you nodding, so you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to give it
Yeah.
away. Um, but yeah, and just that kind of thing, just being like, and the beat, like the sample thing in Burn a Miracle is a totally brand new thing for us. Like Technicolor Blues, the acoustic, like just all these different things that we don't normally do. We were just like, let's do everything we want on this.
Yeah.
We don't want to write Empty Black Part Two. We don't want to write Bright and Beautiful Part Two. We always want to be writing what's exciting to us.
And doesn't it show? It's incredible that it's almost there. It is. Keep it quiet, and we are almost there. You're going to get to enjoy it while being on the road. You're obviously back in the UK, October 16th onwards
Yeah,
as well. A ton of dates before you got the headliner all back in the US as well.
yeah.
We've gone 35 minutes. You've been sitting in your van. You're jet lagged as hell. I think you need to go get some rest, relax, and enjoy
I
the
appreciate
trip.
that.
So thank you so much for giving me your time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This was great. It's awesome conversation, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.